See, Ocelot flow, it is basically a configuration. All your routings will be configured with the help of JSON. Clear my point? All your routing. See, let me take a notepad of our class session. Ocelot API Gateway. Okay. In this Ocelot API Gateway, basically Ocelot will be act as an mediator between client application and microservices. Do you all agree with this point?
Yes.
And individual microservices. Individual microservices. Okay. So what happened when I am having individual microservices? There are two ways you will define. What you will define? Client to Ocelot API Gateway. Am I right? And then Ocelot to microservices call. This is how your calls will happen. Am I right? Always
Yes.
client application, be it to be an Angular, be it to be a mobile device, this client application will talk to API gateway of Ocelot configuration. That Ocelot will try to talk to the microservices. Or you got my point? In this scenario, can I say my client is an upstream? My client will be treated as an upstream, whereas microservice will be treated as a downstream for Ocelot. Do you all agree with this?
Yes.
Upstream in the sense it will be a front end, and
Yes.
downstream it will be the code which you are written. Right?
Yes. Yes. See, upstream is nothing but client application. Downstream is nothing but your microservices for a Ocelot. Clear?
Okay.
Akhil?
Yeah.
So to implement upstream URL and downstream URL in the Ocelot configuration. Ocelot configuration, which is a part of JSON. Clear my point? Anything you are configuring for the URL. See, client is calling a Ocelot Gateway API. Is it an upstream URL? Is it an upstream URL or a downstream URL? It will be your upstream URL. Whenever the Ocelot API Gateway will try to call a microservice URL, that URL we will call it as a downstream URL. I got my point. How to configure that Ocelot configuration is this Ocelot upstream URL and downstream URL will be a part of JSON. I got my point. So you will prepare a JSON. We will prepare a JSON object with Ocelot API Gateway. Okay, we will prepare a JSON with Ocelot API Gateway, and then this Ocelot API Gateway, Ocelot API Gateway containing JSON, Ocelot API Gateway containing JSON will be Ocelot API Gateway containing JSON will be registered as a middleware. registered as a middleware. Clear my point? Where you will register in the API Gateway module. Without this registering of middleware, you cannot able to make this particular application as a API Gateway. Clear my point? Everybody clear? Omkar, Nazir, Irshad, Bora,
Yes.
Akshay,
Yes,
Sachin,
yes.
Swapnil, Varsha, Vedant, Tejishwini. Everybody understand?
Yes, sir.
So, in microservice architecture, API Gateway is your heart, where you will build your Ocelot JSON object based on this. Clear my point? Now, if you go back, you see here, this is your Ocelot API Gateway. API Gateway is a single entry point of all client requests. This is correct? The
Correct.
point what we are discussing is correct. API Gateway is a single entry point of all client requests. That is what we discussed here, right? Client will make a request to the Ocelot Gateway. Ocelot Gateway will call a microservice. So that is the point we are having here. It handles routing, authentication, rate limiting, logging. Let's purely focus on routing in Ocelot API Gateway. Whenever you receive a URL into the Ocelot Gateway, there are multiple microservices are available here. Am I right?
Yes.
Is it a
Yes.
single microservice or a multiple microservice?
Multiple.
No, it will be multiple.
Multiple microservice. So every individual microservice will have a respective URL.
Absolutely.
Every individual microservice will have a respective URL.
Yes, yes. Another.
Or you got my point. But Ocelot have a single URL. That is the reason that configuration of routing will happen here. Prevent direct access to microservice. Am I accessing microservice directly without an API gateway?
Not possible.
No.
Am I directly accessing multiple microservices from the client directly or through Ocelot?
Through Ocelot
Through Ocelot.
API Gateway.
Through Ocelot API Gateway, I'm accessing the respective microservices. So that is the reason these 3 points are more important. If somebody asks you, what is meant by Ocelot API Gateway? It is a single entry point for all client requests. It also handles routing, authentication, rate limiting, and logging.
Another point is you missed it. It is caching also. You are doing it in Ocelot Gateway itself, right?
Yes, but these 4 is more important. Caching, if you required, you will do it. If not required, you won't do it. But
in every place it is not required.
Yes, it depends on the business criteria. See, sometimes you want to hold a master data, you will do it. If you don't want to hold the master data, you won't do it. Am I right?
Correct.
Okay. So, but that is not the mandatory. But these 4 are mandatory. Routing is mandatory. Authentication and authorization is mandatory. Rate limiting is mandatory. Whenever a request comes, you need to log it. What request you received from the client. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that is the reason I'm taking these 4 points are important. Prevent direct access to the microservice. Will the client can directly access my microservice without a API gateway?
Not possible.
Pallavi, without API gateway, can I access microservice directly? Is it correct?
No, sir.
No. So you understand, right?
Yes, sir.
Sahil, Shubham, Swapnil,
Yes, sir.
Varsha. Okay. Now, let me get into the second point. Now, why Ocelot? Why can't other stuffs? It is a lightweight .NET API gateway. It is a lightweight .NET API gateway. I will explain why I am telling this is a lightweight and easy JSON configuration. good for small to mid-scale systems. Why I am saying it is good for small to mid-scale system? A microservice services which has 50 URL. Can I maintain in JSON configuration? Is it good? If I have 50 different URLs in a microservice, maintaining in my Ocelot is good. If it is more than that, it's difficult to manage. Am I right?
Yes.
Why? Because you need to remember all the URLs independently. All the URLs independently. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
See, I have 20 microservices. Each microservices has 10 URLs. Assume 20 into 10, how many URLs? 200 URLs. Can I remember all the 200 URLs of individual microservices? Is it possible? Even though you are an expert in the project, or you are the one architect for the project, remembering each individual URL and individual method, is it good or bad?
It is bad.
So if I have 10 or 15 URL or maximum 20 URLs in the downstream system, maintaining in Ocelot is good. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that is the reason they are saying.
Then it is a drawback of Ocelot. It is only.
That is what I'm saying. That is the reason what we are saying. Good for small to mid-scale system.
Okay.
It is very clearly explaining it. Ocelot is good for small to mid-scale system. Whatever the EStore project we are building, it is good for that. Anything related to banking project, anything related to some other different big systems, Ocelot is not the right option. Clear my point?
Okay.
And it is easy for setting the learning and production. But YARP and Azure API Gateway, it is very hard to configure. But it is the best option that you have to go ahead and do. Clear my point? If time permits, I will implement YARP. If time doesn't permit, I will complete with Ocelot. In future, when we're building as quick as possible, if time permits, I will build YARP as well as Ocelot. Clear my point? Except Azure API Gateway. Clear my point? Everybody
Okay.
clear?
Yes.
Tejaswini, Sahil. Sahil K. Are you new today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You understand what I'm talking, Sahil?
Yes, sir, a bit.
Okay, fine. So the next thing is quick setup for learning and production. If you want to set up anything for learning and production, Ocelot is the best option. To set up YARP, whereas in Ocelot, if you have a JSON file, it is easy for you. Now let's come back to that. What are all the problem you can have an API gateway? Without an API gateway, client must call multiple services for writing a business logic. Is it good or bad? Yesterday we discussed.
Difficult for maintaining if you are doing multiple services, multiple client role.
Duplicate authentication logic. Is it correct or wrong? Every individual, if you don't have an API gateway, every individual microservice, you need to implement authentication and authorization.
Yes.
Second thing is, it is hard to manage security because every independent microservices require an authentication authorization, so that maintaining security of the entire system. See, I already told you, you need to think as a system engineer. You should not think as a developer. When you think as a whole system, having security on multiple individual multiple microservices is the right option. Having an API gateway, putting a security on top of it is the right option. Which one is the right option? as a system engineer or as a system architect? Which one is right? I want answer from you guys. Come on, guys.
The API gateway is the right approach.
API gateway right approach. If I don't have an API gateway, having a multiple microservices, my manager is saying put everything into multiple microservices as a security. What is your thought process?
It is not a good system.
How you will challenge your boss that it is not a good system? See, nowadays managers, not
Yes.
bosses, who are not
Yes.
technical.
Yeah.
They'll come and say that do it. But you need to prove them that why should I am going to not to do it as an architect. Am I right?
Yes.
So how do you prove them? What is the technical challenge and what is the technical point to prove them that this is not the right suggestion? Say, I'm not talking only technology. I'm talking about a system, how I'm going to convince my stakeholders. It could be your manager, it could be your architect, it could be your clients, it could be your product team, XYZ. A lot of factors comes into when you're designing a system. Am I right?
Yes.
So how are you going to convince or consume from the management standpoint, saying that I'm not interested to put security on all the microservices, I'm going to put it in our API gateway. You have to simply say, boss, I am going to deploy my microservices as a private network. First point is, I am planning to deploy individual microservices within our network. It is not going to expose outside the world. Make sense? Akhil?
Yes.
Akhil and Shubham, Irshad,
Yes.
make sense?
Yes.
My point is make sense. I'm
Yes.
telling my boss, I am going to deploy all individual microservices in a private network, which is part of our network, which doesn't require any security implementation, which part of authentication logic, right? Whereas I'm having an API gateway where all our authentication and authorization will happen in the API gateway. There, I'm going to have a security patches in terms of titanium, XYZ. What are all the company policies, code security, code scan, all those things I'm going to implement on top of that API gateway so that I'm ensuring no ethical hacking can happen on my API gateway. Nowadays, the problem is when you use Swiggy or Zomato, the URL will be exposed. Can I show you that? Can I show you that? I'll tell you.
Actually, it is exploit. Yes.
I will show you. So if you go here in my browser, what I'm going to do, Swiggy portal.
Yeah.
I'm going to the portal. Listen carefully. This is my portal where I'm trying to food delivery, something like that. Okay, click on a food delivery. I'm getting the list of North Indian food. Something I'm going to say biryani in Hyderabad. Okay, I'm seeing 284 restaurants to explore. Am I right? It is showing
Yes.
284 restaurants.
Yes.
Yes or no? Now, right click, inspect,
Network.
go to network. Okay, then refresh. You see there is an API call will happen. Where is that API call?
Yes. Went. Yeah. Collect feed to all this like getting data.
Collection. See, these are all data.
Yeah.
These are all API calls. Okay.
Sir,
So you see here
use
destination ID. These are all API calls. See, this is your API call. Or you got my
Sir,
point?
use filter fetch or XHR. We can get
Yeah.
request.
Come again, fetch, etc.
Mhm.
So these are all the API calls. Got my point? So these destinations are API calls where it is internally calling. Or you got my point? So they are making a security. If somebody want to fetch this data, they are not exposing the URL, right? You see, are they exposing the exact URL outside? Say yes or no. Guys, please say yes or no. Are they exposing any URL outside? Shubham, Akil,
No.
Akil Mohammed.
No, I'm not understood this one because this
Okay, fine.
definitions which you are showing, I have not used it like this.
Okay, leave it. I'll talk later. Probably when I'm implementing the code, you will understand. There I will explain clearly. Okay, don't worry about it. Nazir,
Okay.
Irshad, Omkar, Swapnil, Varsha, you all understand, right? So the basic point is you are not going to expose your URL outside. That is the reason we are going for duplicate authentication logic, how to manage security, increased latency and complexity. So all these things without a gateway is very difficult. Now come to the next point, benefit of Ocelot. Single entry point for the client, agreed? It is a single entry point for the client or not?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Centralized
Agreed.
authentication, agreed?
Yes.
Yeah, agreed.
Reduce the client complexity, agreed?
Yes. Yes.
Better scalable and control, agreed?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is the main benefit of Ocelot. Now go back, you see here, client, Ocelot Gateway, Microsoft. In the pipeline, whenever you make a request from the client will be authenticated. Whenever you make a request, whether the user is a valid user or not, is it called an authentication or not?
Yes.
And then authorization. Why do I need an authorization?
Which role and what the authenticated user can access, like for that, like who is authorized to access what or do what.
Understand? So authorization, see, you are going a movie. Without buying a ticket, can I watch a movie?
No.
Everybody, you are going a movie. Without having a ticket, can I watch a movie?
No.
You cannot. After buying the ticket, can I sit whatever the seat I want?
No.
No.
Why?
Because I'm assigned to a particular seat and for a particular movie.
Yeah. Okay. If you same thing, you come back to your application, you are making a request, whether the user is a valid user or not, you are authenticating with the authentication. Am I right? Which is something like buying a ticket. Am I right?
Yes.
And then similar way, this person should sit in this particular seat. At the same time, whenever you make a request, you should have access only a particular URL, not for all the URL. Am I right? Based on your role. Am I right?
Yes.
So authentication and authorization is nothing but a person who want to watch a movie, he has to buy a ticket, sit in the place allocated to it. Similar way, in technology standpoint, be it be Java, Python, .NET, whatever the technology, whenever you make a request, the request will be authenticated. Once it has been authenticated, the authenticated user will be allowing for authorization whether he has the permission of that particular access or not. Clear, ma'am? Not? Everybody clear? What is authentication and authorization? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Tejashwini, you understand? I think you are there. Are you unmute?
I'm listening to you, sir, but I couldn't understand much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, listen it, no problem. Okay, Varsha, Swapnil,
Yes, sir.
Sachin, do you all understand, right? And
Yeah,
then
perfect.
rate limiting. We already discussed what rate limiting is. Can anyone tell me what is rate limiting?
When we have
Yesterday, yeah, please go ahead.
to avoid for to give a limit of access, like concurrent access to the APIs, like if it is crossing the, like for example, only the application able to respond back to the 10 user, we need to limit this application will respond only to the 10 user. If 11 and 12th user will be coming, means it will be there in the pipeline or in buffer access. We
Perfect.
we are
Perfect.
responsive
Perfect.
only to 10 users.
Perfect. After that, routing. Why do we need a routing from the API gateway? You need to call a corresponding microservices. Am I right? Yes, Sachin.
Yes,
You want to say
yes.
something?
Yes, yes, routing. Routing means
Okay.
it's a way to map a path.
Okay. Fine. Finally, the microservices will return a response. That response will be catched by whom? Ocelot API gateway or client?
Ocelot.
Ocelot. That response will give back to the client. So this is
O-
the architecture we are explaining in Ocelot API gateway. Do you all
Okay.
understand this architecture?
Yeah, yeah. Client will be accessing, trying to access to the Ocelot gateway. Ocelot will be trying to try to hit the microservice which we are requesting from the front, like client side. Once the client microservice is giving the response, it will coming back to the Ocelot. Then Ocelot will give the response back to the our front end client.
It is similar to your WCF configuration. If you have
Correct.
multiple service-oriented services,
Yeah,
you will have a SQL architecture where
yeah.
you will use an enterprise bus, right?
Mm-hmm.
So similar to that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
But here the data will be passed in form of JSON.
JSON,
There it will be in a form of
XML,
XML or
some other messaging format also.
messaging queue.
Yeah,
Messaging queue.
yeah,
MSM queue.
yeah, messaging
Okay. So here everything will be JSON.
JSON.
Clear? Now you see upstream client facing URL, which is asking a product. Downstream internal service URL, which is asking a product. These two are examples. Clear my point?
Okay.
Upstream versus downstream. Who is going to become an upstream? If somebody comes and asks you,
The
what
API
is
It will
gateway.
be
upstream and what is downstream? What is your answer?
our Angular or React JS code or iOS code. It will be a upstream. Downstream is the API, the microservices API which is available.
No. Client calling an URL for the API gateway is called as upstream URL.
Okay, okay.
Be careful with the mentions. So always you have to be careful with your answers. Client calling an URL, calling a URL from API gateway. Sorry, API gateway, client calling an URL for the API gateway. Am I right?
Yeah.
For the API gateway, not from. For the API gateway is known as what
Upstream.
URL?
Upstream.
Upstream URL. API gateway calling a URL for the microservices is known as what stream URL?
Downstream.
Downstream URL. Clear my point? Everybody. So now go back. Your upstream URL is your API gateway URL. Your downstream URL will be your microservice URL. How these URLs will be defined in a JSON format. To see here, this is how you are going to define the routes. Listen carefully. This is most important. You see here, this is your upstream path template, which is I am receiving from the client to Ocelot gateway. Clear my point? Whenever I receive an upstream path as a slash product, the corresponding microservice I need to access. For that, I'm going to have API product with the protocol of 5000, where the host name is localhost. Clear my point? Say
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir. Sir, so it is kind of reverse proxy, isn't it?
It's kind of a reverse proxy.
Yes, sir.
It is kind of a reverse proxy. Whenever API gateway receives an URL, this URL will send that particular call to the API gateway. Like that, you can add n number of route as a collection. Let me tell you. Hold on a second. Let me go how I'm going to use it in my code level. Let's assume this is my URL. Okay. Now what I will do, I'll take this JSON. I will take this JSON. Here, I'm going to paste it. Copy, paste. Now here, what I'm going to do, comma as an array, and then I copy another one, another object as a JSON array, paste here. Okay, here you don't need a routes. Sorry guys, Control Z. So what I need to do, I copy this stuff alone. Copy, comma, enter, paste. So now what happened? Here I have a API product, right? Here I'm going to get a create product. Something like that, I'm going to create a product from the client. I'm getting a create product. Is it a post or it is a get method? Always when you try to create a product, it should be your post.
Post method.
Am I right or not? But you see, this host name and port name will not change. Only what we are going to change. This API will have create product. Understand my point?
Yes.
This API will have create product. You are going to build a microservices as create product. Make sense?
Yes.
So, am I maintaining two different URLs in my routes with the help of Ocelot?
Yes.
Like that, I'm going to maintain n number of URLs. The maximum is 50. Don't go behind that. If you go behind that, understanding this each URL is very tough. So people try to use minimizing the URLs. Got my point? API gateway URL with the Ocelot.
Yes.
Everybody.
Yes.
The agenda of Ocelot API gateway is maximum try to keep it within 50. If it goes beyond, don't suggest people that go for Ocelot API gateway. For our project, it is very less URL so that we can go for it. But if you go for an enterprise-based application, maintaining this kind of stuff is very hard. People will get confused and they will give different URLs with the different API calls. Okay, so it is not advisable. It is not advisable. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Shubham, Akshay, Bora Bhargav, Varsha, Swapnil, Sachin, Prem, Sahil,
Yes. Yes.
Irshat, Omkar.
Yes.
Clear my point? Can I move forward? Now, after maintaining that, do I need to register in my middleware?
Yes.
Because these configuration need to be called through middleware. How I am going to do that? No. Okay, fine. I'll come here. See, you see here, you are going to use builder.configuration.add.json file, which you are created a Ocelot JSON. Am I right? The JSON file, what you are
Yes.
creating, you are going to use here. After that, what you are going to do in the build method, you see here, you are using an await app.use Ocelot middleware
Yes.
before authentication or after authentication.
After authentication.
Because without authenticate that request, you cannot allow your Ocelot to call a middleware. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes.
So that is the chain. I will tell what is middleware pipeline, but in the pipeline, you need to register after authentication. Clear my point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sir, one
Okay.
question here. How Ocelot will understand the like which JSON file is used for it? Because we can add multiple JSON files. So
No. Ocelot
okay.
should have only one JSON file, and in
Okay.
the builder.configuration, you are having a one JSON file, and then you add a JSON file, and then you see there is an add Ocelot
Mm-hmm.
service dot
Yeah.
add
Yeah.
Ocelot. This will help you to create an object. This will help
Okay.
you to create an object for Ocelot. Object for Ocelot with the help of Ocelot JSON file. Because all your configurations are available in JSON file. Am I right?
Yeah. So and the file name has to be always Ocelot.json.
You can have it anything.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Why? Because in the configuration, I'm already defining add JSON file. This builder configuration is having that. This add Ocelot automatically look for a configuration. That is how they created a middleware. Understand?
Yes.
You don't need to
Yes.
worry about it. This
Okay.
add Ocelot method will look for a JSON configuration. Okay? I will explain. While implementing, you will get a clarity. But try to understand how Ocelot works as of now. When I'm implementing, you will get a more clarity. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Bora? Irshad?
Yeah.
Omkar?
Yes, sir.
And then, if you see here, after authentication, you are calling a Ocelot. So this is how you have to set up your Ocelot API configuration. Now, coming back, after configuring the routing, do you need to configure your authentication by creating a JWT token?
Yes.
Do we need another session? Okay. Is there any session right now? Is there any lecture? Who is that? The person is available? Sahil K. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Are you new today?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I had sent a message at the beginning of the session.
Okay, great. Where are you from?
From Nagpur,
Okay, done.
Maharashtra.
Okay. So you understand, right? Routing configuration. Now coming back, you see there is an authentication and authorization. How you generate a JWT token? For that, you are having an authentication option where provider key equal to bearer, allowed scope. This one I will implement. So what will happen? This configuration will be help you. This JSON, this is a JSON file in your project you have to implement. Okay, when you create a project, you will have app setting.json. How many of you saw that in
Yes.
ASP.NET code?
Yes.
You have a app setting.json. How many of you saw that file? Surya Prakash Mishra, I believe you would have seen that in the morning. Varsha, do
Yeah.
we create a connection string, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So in that file, you are going to add this code saying that authentication.option. Let me show you. Probably that will help you. See, this is my project EStore admin. This is my project EStore admin, which we built it in the morning session. Now you go to the solution under a EStore admin module. You see there is a file name called appsetting.json. You see there is an appsetting.json. Ma? Say yes or no?
Yes.
In this appsetting.json, I'm going to configure something like this. Allowed authentication. Something. Okay, wait. Let me have something like this here. Authentication. Okay. Here I'm going to have a JWT token. Clear my point? So what is that? Authentication provider key.
Narendra, why it is a JWT word, the 3-letter?
JWT is a token. JSON
Web token. JSON.
web token. JSON web token.
Okay.
Or you got my point? So
Yeah.
for authentication purpose, we are having a JSON web token. Clear my point?
Yeah.
So like that you will add here and that will help you for a configuration. Right now I'm not going to do that because it will affect my project, which we are building for the team. We are almost done a lot of things in the morning session. Okay. Okay. So this is how you have to build your configuration. So this one will be comes here. I will implement that and show you. And then rate limiting. You see here in the rate limiting option in the same configuration file, you are going to add this rate limiting, saying that enable rate limiting period 1 minute. Within that 1 minute, there is a limit of 10 users. You should not call 20 or 30. Within 1 minute, you can able to access only 10 users. Clear my point? Say
Yes. Yes.
If the same 1 minute, if I'm getting a 20 concurrent users, will my system allow to process?
No.
Akhil, Irshad, Prem, Prasanna Kumar Oram.
Yeah, no.
Will my system will process? Because rate limit will help you to stop your options. Am I right?
Yes.
After rate limiting, load balancer. If at all you require any load balancer for an API gateway, you can create a load balancer where round robin. If at all, for example, Swiggy, Zomato portals definitely require a load balancer of API gateway because so much of calls will happen at a single point of time. Only a single API gateway is not sufficient, so that they will have a load balancers. Clear my point?
Yes.
Yes.
Sir,
Okay.
one question here. For example, I have 2 nodes. So I have selected like each 1 minute 10 user. Maybe my one node can handle 10 user and another can handle 10 user. So
That is
how
the
does it
reason you
happen?
are going for a load balancer, right?
Okay, so if it is more than 10, automatically it will go for the next server.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
That is the reason you are having a load balancer.
Yes.
Period showing 1 minute. So is it a session? After 1 minute, the session timeout happens. Is it like that? 1
No,
minute.
no, no, no. It's not
Only.
like that. See, I have a primary and secondary, or I have a 2-3 URL, 2-3 API gateways are there. Okay, I'm having a 2-3 API gateways at a single particular point of time. When a client hit a URL with the same URL, first it will go to one server. Whether the rate limit is reaches, immediately it will go to the second server to make sure the request whatever receiving we have to process. Understand? Irshad.
Yes. Yes, sir.
That is called load balancer. So typically in real time, what will happen is they will maintain 2 or 3 load balancer. In that load balancer also, there are 2 ways they will maintain. One is primary node, another one is secondary node. Whenever your primary node has occupied full, it will go back to the secondary node because they don't want to unattended every request. That is a business case for technical management. It is basically an enterprise architect level people will think. But we need to understand how the load balancer works. Clear my point?
Yes.
Irshad, you got the point.
Yes, sir.
See, I will give you a small example. You are having a WCF service, right? Let's take an example. You guys are having a WCF service. Am I right? Irshad.
Yes, sir.
If your W service, there is a threshold limit is being reached. What you will do? In WSF service, we used to have a threshold, right? Here we are talking as a rate limit. In WSF service, we talk about threshold. Am I right, in Akhil?
Yeah.
So threshold is nothing but rate limit in API gateway. Clear? See, there is a slight way of changing the name, but end of the day, solution is same. Bora, I believe you are the right person to answer for this. What do you say? Bora Bhargav? I think he is busy. Okay. Then finally, aggregation. Whenever you multiple services in one response, this is how you have to aggregate it, saying that whenever user calls a dashboard, user plus order plus payment, everything will be a single response. That response will give to the dashboard. That is called aggregation. In the aggregation, after completing that program.cs file setup, finally the request flow will comes like this. So what is happening? Can anyone read it? Client send a request, gateway validating the authentication. After the user is valid, it will apply a rate limit. If the limit is valid, it will match the route. When it matches the route, call the downstream service, getting a response. That response will be returned back to the client. Does the flow is correct? What we discussed so far?
Yes.
Yes.
See, first client is making a call to your API gateway. Clear? Client making a call to API gateway. What gateway will do? Whatever the request the client is making, is it a valid user or not? Am I right?
In app-setting.json file.
Yes. Forget about, yeah, in app-setting.json file, and we have to register the authentication middleware. Do you remember? In program.cs file, you will have authentication, use authentication middleware.
Yes.
On top of that, you are checking your bearer token. What are the token you are receiving? Is it a valid token or not? Every time you are receiving a token from the service client, whether we are going to check this valid or not. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is the same thing. Gateway validate JWT and then apply rate limiting. Whether the threshold is reaching or it is going beyond, that will happen. Finally, it will match the route. Where we are matching the route, this is the one. Whenever you make a
Oscillate
request,
Oscillate.json,
yes,
that file in which
yes,
we mentioned the routing table.
yes. Once the route will be matched, it will call a downstream service with the help of Ocelot JSON. Will it call a downstream service or not?
Yes.
Yes.
The downstream service will return a response.
Yes.
That response you are return back to the client. Typically, API Gateway will take care of 5 points. What are all those 5 points? Point number 1, accepting request from the client. Point number 2, validating the request with the help of authentication by using JWT token. Correct? Point number 3, whenever a request comes, whether it is reaching the threshold of rate limiting or not. Point number 4, once the rate limiting is success, it is looking for the upstream URL matching with the route or not. Point number 5, once the upstream URL is matched, it will call the corresponding downstream service URL. Am I right? Point number 6, once the downstream service is correct, it will go and execute the microservice, generate a response. That response will give back to the API gateway. Point number 7, after receiving the API gateway response, that will send back to the client, which is the 8 steps will happen in API gateway. If you understand this flow in anywhere, you can jot it down in with a paper and tell people that this is nothing but API gateway. I worked in microservices. This is how the API gateway will be there. Whether you use Ocelot API Gateway, whether you use YARP Gateway, whether you use Azure API Gateway. End of the day, the main functionality of API Gateway is these are all the 8 points. Everybody clear with the API Gateway?
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yes.
I want answer from everyone.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now real-time use cases. E-commerce system, gateway handle, product service, order service, payment service. Listen carefully. In e-commerce system, gateway handles product service, order service, and payment service. No best to output of, not best for high throughput, less flexibility than YARP, large configuration become complex. Where we are making this configuration, in which file we are making a configuration?
The JSON file of like Ocelot configuration, anything like the JSON file.
JSON file for?
The configuration, Ocelot configuration.
In Ocelot configuration, what are all the things we'll have?
We
You
have
have
routing.
routes. In
Yes.
that route, you will have upstream URL and downstream URL. That will make more complex for your project. Am I right? That is the limitation of Ocelot.
Yes.
To overcome that, we are going for YARP. Clear my point? YARP is high performance code based. Ocelot is configuration based. Because you are all the URLs you are configuring in JSON file. Whereas in YARP, you are going to write a code to maintain all the URL. So YARP preferred for enterprise application. Clear my point? This is also a part of one of the package in Microsoft. Tomorrow we are going to talk detail about YARP gateway. Don't worry about it. Clear my point? I need to discuss few more things in that. Let me stop here.
YARP is having code based means it doesn't have those routing routes.
Everything will be there. YARP is also one of the routing. You write a middleware. In that middleware, you are going to have a routing mechanism. See,
Yes.
In middleware, there are 4 ways you can define middleware. One is direct middleware, which is already available in predefined middlewares like add Ocelot, add authentication. The second middleware is user-defined middleware. where I am going to build my own middleware. I'm going to add that middleware into the pipeline. That I will explain in the upcoming when I'm explaining ASP.NET Core. That is our first two classes, okay? Where you will understand how to build your own API, what I say, your own middlewares, custom middlewares. Clear? So tomorrow we are going to talk about Ocelot versus YAR, and I will explain everything once again. And then by Monday, we can go ahead with the other stuff. In Ocelot itself, I need to have a lot of other things to explain. We'll discuss and then move forward. Clear my point, ma? We are already running time out. Make sense?
Yes, sir. Sir, you were speaking about the four type of middleware. One is a custom middleware. One is a already
User-defined
predefined
middleware.
Yeah.
And for implementing middleware, 4 ways we can implement. I will explain in the code. Okay?